This podcast is brought to you by Traventure Cafe, where the wild at heart fuel their passion and adventure is served fresh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode of Curt on Wheels podcast. This podcast has been filmed at the Traventure Cafe, where adventure is served fresh. We have good ambience, serene place to come with friends and family to chill and to enjoy some good meals. You're welcome all. Today I'm with Wamuyu. Karibu sana Wamuyu.
Asante sana.
Wamuyu, I was going through your profile on Instagram and I've seen so many flags. And then other bikers have been trying to ask me to invite you over. They've told me you mesafiri sana. Now, what I wanted to ask, all those flags, where you've traveled with a bike,
Yes.
there are like 19.
I think the total was 20 by bike, but there are like another 4 or so that were not on bike, but during the same trip.
Oh, nice.
The day do you follow me?
Actually, to be honest, I followed you. Let me tell you what happened. I followed you after a few bikers recommended you.
Okay.
Alafu nikakudm.
Okay.
Alafu I don't know if you opened ukaniacha kwa scene. And then
Nimeachia your story tu hapo.
Unaona?
I'm sorry. I'm not going to ask whether you follow. I am sorry.
I have followed you. After here, you go check. I have followed you. Nikakudm, nikakwambia, please come to my show. And then I had to use connections, people, someone who knows someone. Nikaambia Micah akasema usijali.
I apologize.
Nitamleta hapa. Then Kyle
apologize.
called you sasa.
I apologize.
No problem. It's understandable because unajua hata social media is not a formal way of communication, you get.
No, I really try to respond to everyone.
You see,
So if it happened, I'm really sorry.
you must be getting a lot of like messages, maybe business wise and all that, because I've seen you also do a lot of things. You knit, and then you have throttle wear that sells gears.
Yes.
What else is it that I saw that you do?
So there's Throttle Adventures, which is the travel. Then there's Throttle Wear, which is now for motorcycle safety wear. I ride for Helmet, where we do education on road safety with commercial riders, aka bodas. Malkia Moto, and that one is mentorship of women in commercial sector, aka boda ladies.
We have boda ladies.
We do. You don't know?
Where exactly? I've never seen one.
Oh my God, we have so many, especially in Nairobi, but we also have out of Nairobi. Yes, we've been to Isiolo. We met 2. We gave them helmets and I think gloves. Karatina we have. Machakos we have 1. Is Ongatarungai Nairobi?
That's Kajiado.
Ni diaspora, sindio?
Yeah, that's Kajiado.
We have, I think, 3. Yeah, so we have quite a number.
Oh, nice. I've never
Nairobi
seen
we have the most.
women who are doing bodas.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that, to be honest. This is the first time I'm hearing that. I've never come across any. Which area specifically do you think they're in?
Kilimani area, we have Upper Hill, Town, City Center CBD, Jogoo Road, and Thika Road. Thika Road, Kwanza, we have 4. The one I know.
The entire Thika Road, you have only 4?
Wako area ya Mwiki, TRM, they operate Mwiki. Is it Mwiki? Kuingia uko ndani?
Kasarani towards
Kasarani,
going in.
Yes.
Yeah.
TRM area, all the way to Ruiru. Yeah.
Okay.
Wakuji City Center. I think one used to come to City Center, but the others just do Thika Road. But City Center, we have 4.
And you know the story we have, we all know, we hear a lot about the boda riders. Do you think the female boda riders are doing it better compared to the guys? Because I know, like the way you're saying you donate helmets and stuff to them, I've seen a lot of CSRs, even companies doing the same thing, but they don't get to put on the gears and all that.
There's a big challenge in the commercial sector. I like to use commercial sector other than boda. I find boda being used with a negative connotation.
Okay.
In most cases. So I prefer to use commercial riders. So there's a big challenge in terms of the knowledge and the awareness of safety wear. We failed when we brought motorcycles to the country because we started by treating helmets as a requirement by law, just like a license. And that is the message that was first put out. Ukinunua bike, utapewa helmet ya yellow, ambayo ita-identify wewe kama commercial rider, na kara watakuuliza.
That was it?
Initially, that was the narrative. So you find because training schools are not available in plenty to train the numbers we have, then the right information is not being pushed out. It is being pushed out by individuals who have taken it upon themselves to preach the road safety and what should be done, as opposed to it being a requirement of the law. If you look at the motorcycles and you look at the drivers, every driver has been to a school, or almost over 90% have done it the right way. But in motorcycle, it's the opposite. Why? We brought in motorcycles without the capacity to train.
And that's it.
And that's where the problem started. Now we are trying to correct the mistakes that we made.
But it's a lot.
And then, because we don't want to be blamed, we point the finger at the riders. But if today we were to take the over 2 million riders and say everybody must go to school, and we give them even the money to pay for school fees, which schools will train them? There's a gap. But it is easier to point fingers than take responsibility. And that is what has been happening.
So it's not entirely their fault?
No, it's not entirely their fault.
Okay,
I have dealt with riders who really want to train. I have pushed them to training. We have organizations that are actually getting funding for training, but they're not enough to cater for the numbers we have out there. But whenever you say, go to this organization, go register and do, we have people who are interested and they're doing it. So it's not entirely their fault.
And is it working?
It is. It's a drop in the ocean, so hard to notice, but it is working. I'll tell you, I've been able to convert commercial riders from using bad helmets to good helmets. Not through donation, they pay.
They buy it?
They buy.
And they preach the same gospel to other...
Yes, they're the ones bringing their fellow riders to the shop. Because I do malipo ya pole pole.
Oh.
So you come, we have the conversation about the helmet. Why should you use this good one? Why is it called good? What qualifies it to be a good helmet? And what makes the one that we are trying to get you to stop using a bad one? Why is it bad? Because if you don't make someone understand the difference, then you're not solving the problem.
Okay.
Don't just sell it for the money. Because we are selling safety. As we are not selling fashion. Fashion comes after. You can choose colors. That's our tagline, I know. Safety is fashionable. Yeah. But safety first.
You said safety is fashionable.
Safety is fashionable. That's a throttle wear tagline.
Oh.
Safety is fashionable.
Where is your shop?
We are on Discount Arcade, which is right next to Greenhouse Mall.
Okay. And
on Gong Road.
So I'm assuming around that area, the bikers, the commercial bikers, they know you. And you've helped a number of them in the environment. So like they say, charity begins...
Charity begins at home. So I have worked mostly with... before I got a shop, I live on Naivasha Road. So I worked with people on Naivasha Road. Then Gong Road and Kibra. The ladies are the ones who've pushed me out of Gong Road. Yeah. So when I go to town, I don't just say, I can't talk to you because you're a man and I came here because of the ladies. So I talk to everyone. When I go to Mwiki area, Thika Road, one of the ladies actually got me to meet with her entire circle. And she was the only lady, the rest are men. That particular one, we got NHIF on board. We activated all the NHIF accounts that were dormant. We also educated them on NHIF issues that they've had that have made them stop contributing. For example, when you don't contribute to NHIF you skip a month 2, your account becomes like dormant. So once you start paying, then you're reset to go to the waiting period of the 3 months for you to be able to use the money you've put in NHIF.
Okay.
Did you know that?
I did not know that. I'm learning.
Yes.
I'm learning a lot of things from
So
you
if
right
you
now.
default on NHIF, whether it's a month or two, the minute you reactivate the account by paying, you go back to where you cannot be able to access your money for another 3 months.
So even if you're paying, you still have to wait for 90
For
days.
3 months, yes. And when that happens, most of the riders don't know that they were rejected because they were not consistent payers to NHIF. So they tend to think, I've been paying this NHIF for so many months and it's not helping me. And that's a message they'll send to their fellow riders, wachaneni na hii kitu, hata ukilipa haitakusaidi.
And
But
they
nobody
abandon it.
communicated that because of your defaulting, your account reset back to dormant, and when you activated, you need that waiting period.
For 3 months.
Yes. I think they have reduced it then. Now, I'm not so sure with the changes that have been there, but that has been the issue. So such messages, when they go out, they work not for the good of the people. Because now you make more people default because they think it's not helping, and they end up without a cover.
And news travels so fast.
While all you needed to tell them is that please do not default.
Just continue paying.
Continue pay. You'll have access to your money when you need it.
Hey, you've done so much for the society. That's a very big initiative, to be honest. And I'm tempted to say I think NTSA should be the one doing this. But you're doing this as an individual, yeah?
I started as an individual, yes. I started this campaign by myself. It was something for my birthday. And then when the birthday month ended, I couldn't stop it.
Oh, you wanted to do it as a way of giving back for your birthday?
During my birthday month.
Wow.
But when the month came to an end, which is October, so that you send me the birthday gift next year. But hata sahi haijachelewa.
It's in October when?
10th. Haujachelewa sana.
Hiyo ni siku ya mashujaa. Oh, that's a holiday. Yeah, hiyo belated. I'll visit Throttleware.
Karibu. Yes. So when the month ended, I couldn't stop. It had become part of me. I was learning much more. I was building a community. I was building new friends, new circles that I was not. It was just too exciting for me to stop. And then I saw how people are receiving the message
Positively.
And the most touching one was people telling me they haven't had somebody care so much for them.
Wow.
And I felt I can't walk away. So it became me. Then now eventually I've been able to work with NTSA. Recently I was in the review of the Road Safety Action Plan 2023 to 2027.
What's that all about?
Working on the Road Safety Action Plan for the Kenya government. That is a national project. Reviewing regulations, not really regulations, but having a policy that is going to guide the road safety enforcement. It was touching on enforcement, touching on implementation, touching on technology. For example, we have motorcycles without hazards in Kenya. We have motorcycles without ABS. Shouldn't that be something that now we don't debate? It becomes a standard that when a motorcycle comes to Kenya, it has ABS, regardless of whether it's coming for commercial use or personal use. Because safety cannot be a privilege for some people.
But they're not going to ban the ones that are already in Kenya without the
They're
ABS.
already in Kenya. We are just talking about what comes in.
Now after it's been implemented.
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Yamaha is...
I ride one without ABS too. I've had an accident, so I know what it means to have a bike without ABS and a bike with ABS. I've ridden both. So, yeah.
That includes the boda bodas as well when they start coming in, yeah?
Yes. Because we can't make safety features a privilege for some people. But because you can afford a GS, then it will have all the safety features. No.
Yeah, your initiative is a really good thing. This is it's a work in progress. It takes time. It's just one step at a time, I believe. Even though I know for sure that it will take maybe years for you to get all the boda bodas to align to this notion. that might take some time.
It will take some time, but the worst would be to never start because it looks a big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
How long have you been doing this, if I may ask?
From 2020 October.
During COVID?
Yes. As soon as we got back from the travels. That was my first birthday in the country after a few years.
Of being on the road?
Yes.
With a bike?
Yes.
When did you start riding?
I started riding in October 2015. Another birthday gift.
Hey, you're full of self-love, eh?
But do I say?
Yeah, self-love, very important. I'm learning now.
Si ni muhimu.
Si lazima upatiwe gift. Unaweza jipatia.
Naweza jipatia.
Nice.
So 2015 October is when I got my license. So I started training somewhere in September. And yeah, here we are 8 years later, I think. 8.
So as soon as which bike was this?
I started with a ZMR, the so-called ZMR.
Yeah, ZMR is uptown.
Yes.
How we know it.
Nilikuwa mtoto wa Leafy Bounce.
The pastures.
Yes.
Okay. And then, but that one you're not moving out of the country often, yeah? Or not at all?
I think the farthest I went with the ZMR is Machakos, Naivasha. Oh, it did Naivasha.
Hold on, there's a story you're telling me about Machakos before we started. Tunaweza pitia hiyo kidogo alafu.
Machakos?
Yeah.
Machakos nilienda na bado niko Machakos.
Uko Machakos?
Yes.
And it's been an interesting journey.
It's been one interesting journey. Watu waende Machakos.
Machakos kuna story. Ukitaka kujua tembea tu. Take Machakos, that direction.
Yes.
Very nice. Sasa, which bike is this that you got you traveling now? And what prompted you to feel like you want to get out of the country? Is it a birthday gift again?
No, the second one was not a birthday gift. So from ZMR, I went to a bike called Kingbird. It was Chinese, Cafe Racer, 400cc.
Okay.
I was the first one to ride that bike.
In the country?
Yes. It was very new in the country. They're the same guys who brought a Kingbird as well that was adventure or almost adventure. It was a competitor of rally. But they didn't do well in the country. Not the bike. I think the company struggled to settle in and to market themselves. But the bike was good. Being a Chinese bike, it was good. That's a bike that I first took across the border to Tanzania.
They're not available now?
I don't think so. That company didn't last.
But how was the bike, from your own opinion?
It was good.
No challenges, no nothing?
Nothing. I rode it from Nairobi all the way to Kigoma. The roads in Tanzania were being constructed then, so I got into tarmac, to dirt roads, to kokoto, that's called gravel in English, to deep sand and deep soil, everything. I did all terrains. And it came back home.
For how long?
10 days. For 3,100 kilometers.
Hey, it seems like you are destined for this.
So what happened with that trip? We had already decided we want to do the world tour. We decided the world tour in 2016. And 2017, we hosted friends from Germany. We're the kind of people who meet you online, like you, talk to you, welcome you to our house. That is how that conversation went. So the guy asked on AMD for help clearing the bikes, his and his partner.
For customs, you mean?
Yes,
okay.
Because he was flying in with 2 bikes. The partner was coming after. So me being Wamuyu, I inboxed the guy and I said, oh, I don't mind helping you with this. Let me know what you want and you can also stay with us. Yes.
You're not scared it's strangers or?
I had been used to staying with people on Airbnb and we had done a bit of couch surfing.
Yeah.
So we didn't view people as strangers per se. It was easy for us to welcome people to our home. So they came over Then when they were here moving between Nairobi, Masai Mara, another girl that I met online from US, she's like, I'm between jobs and I have 2 weeks and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, come to Kenya. Oh, I thought it was a joke. She took a flight to Kenya.
Just like that?
Just like that. So by the time these guys were coming back from Mara, I had another lady and we were riding in Mount Kenya together. So when we got back home, they had left. So I didn't get to say goodbye. Then they went to Uganda and we kept talking. And when they entered Rwanda, when they were about to enter Tanzania, they said, in 1 week, we're going to be in Kigoma. I just told my husband, in 2 days, I'm going to Kigoma. So that's how that happened. But also, I wanted to know if the big trip is something that I would be comfortable with. So I also used that trip to Kigoma by myself to know whether a big trip on a motorcycle is something that I'll be comfortable with.
Testing the waters.
Kinda.
Okay. Nice. So, were you nervous when you finally made the decision that you want now to do this world tour?
No. For the world tour, it was excitement. Few days would have some nervousness of what if, especially during planning. You know, like when you sit down, because we used to dedicate certain days to sit down, read the map, do the route, change the route, hear stories, read stories.
Or just research about the areas that you're going
Exactly.
to. Okay.
Yes. Now, such moments sometimes would be like, what if? The nervousness came in now when it was, hiya, we are leaving. We are now leaving. Yeah, that time, yeah.
Do you remember the date that you left?
We left on 2nd July 2018.
The first, that's the first world tour now you're going to?
Yes.
And which country was this?
We left Kenya, July 2nd, 2018. We were flagged off at BMW because we used their bikes. Okay, we bought our bikes from them. Correction.
Yeah.
We paid every dime.
You're not using their bikes. They're your bikes.
We paid to the last cent. So we were flagged off from there. Or they gave us breakfast. And then we were flagged off by Pastor Nick from Parklands Baptist.
Okay, yeah, Pastor Nick.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's not like they were sponsoring the... Why
There
would
was
they
no
flag you?
sponsorship. There was no sponsorship.
So they were flagging you guys because it's a brand.
They actually gave us breakfast.
You pushed with that breakfast. You want it to count.
It's the truth.
So now what was the destination?
The first destination was Nakuru that day. One, we had a lot of people escorting us. So the speed, the pace was not as fast. It's not like the two of us who have decided next stop is Nakuru. So we had a lot of people escorting us. So we had a stop in Dalamere just to say goodbye to those who couldn't go all the way to Nakuru. Then we also, it was my first day to ride with panniers. I still remember some people who laughed at me at how slow I was on a GS. Mungu awasaidia tu.
I will never ask them to come now.
I couldn't tell how wide I was. So every vehicle that was overtaking was carrying me. I couldn't lane split because I was so scared. I couldn't tell how wide I was with the panniers. I had never ridden. Big mistake. For anyone listening to this, try your bike for long distance the way you're going to kit it with all the things you're going to add it. Try it before.
So the first advice is the panniers.
Yeah, get to know. You know the way you feel the width of your car, you feel the width of your bike when you're on the road? Get to feel that before you hit the road for the first day. Yeah. I was totally scared and slow. But then the reason why Nakuru was our first stop is just so that we can double check we haven't left anything important.
What if you had?
Nakuru was very near. You can even ask Iwekwe kwa 2NK. ikuje.
Yenye iko en route.
Ikupate hapo. But further than that means that maybe you have another night stop. Yeah.
But changing your mind was not an option.
No, that never even came.
Oh, no time it crossed your mind. So you went through the rains, the storms and all that.
Yes.
Still no changing your mind.
No. Okay, sometimes the days would be tough and you would ask yourself, what did I put myself through? And then you look at yourself and where you are. There is no other way out. It's still to ride this bike, whether you want to go back home.
That's a good one.
Or go forward. There's no way out.
Whether you're going back or coming, you're still riding. You still have to
ride this bike.
So you might as well just continue.
So just have your moment, shake it off, move on.
So did you try to ask if you wanted any other bikers to join you in this trip? You wanted it to be something personal?
In the beginning, we actually even had buddies destination.
Buddies?
Like buddy travelers. That's the name we gave it. Like you can travel with us, join us until get to this place. If you want to get with us to Kampala, then go back. If you want to join us when you're in Tanzania, you can do that. We had all that. But I think the biggest challenge was we started traveling at a time where crossing the border was not common.
How so?
How many other bikers had crossed the border?
At that time?
There were very few. So the logistics, if we leave you behind, you plan your own trip, we were all learning, including ourselves, the logistics.
Was it so hard to cross the border? Or?
No, it's not hard. It's just that it wasn't a common thing. We were still touring Kenya and we were happy with touring Kenya as a biker community. And then now crossing border was a new thing. So it comes with its own logistics. You have to get your KRA permit. If you're coming back, you have to use the same border, or if you carry your logbook, make sure when you get to this border, if you're choosing another border, remember that you need to let them know so that they let you have your logbook to cross back through another border. Such things. They were not information that was readily available. Even us, planning was as hard as that.
That's the importance of planning, by the way.
Yeah, but this information was not readily available because it wasn't a common thing. It is common with Muzungus, it is common with other travelers, but not for us. So that process, we also had to learn it. The other thing is time. So by the time we get to where we want to be, how many people have those days off or can get them as quick as possible? And of course, the other thing is the budget.
Yeah.
So when you put those three together, it's either you have one and not two, or you have two and don't have the third one. So it becomes quite a challenge.
Complicated somewhere along the way.
Maybe you have time, you don't have the money. Or you have the money, you don't have the time.
You can't have both. It's the way of life.
Kabisa.
Are there so many female bikers who do the same thing that you're doing?
The world tour, no, but crossing the border now, there are so many doing it.
In GS?
Yeah. There's this thing about adventure bike being the GS, being the big bike. Well, the V-Strom.
I don't know where the hype is coming from.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah.
But you ride a GS?
Not anymore. I ride a Royal Enfield 350 Classic now. Yeah.
When we talked first, you told me you not yet gotten back on your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happened?
I had an accident last year. Soon after the elections.
Oh.
So I was going to Nanyuki for a mentorship gig with young girls who've cleared high school, and they're taken through a bridging course to prepare them for either college, university, or jobs, whatever comes. And on Thika Road, a place called Mackenzie, aka Makeji, for those who live in that area. There's a joining road that joins from the left. When you're going out of Nairobi, it joins from the left. It serves to feed traffic into Thika Road out of Nairobi or back to Nairobi. So there's a kind of a U-turn there. And traffic stopped. And I remember we saw everybody stopping. Even this matatu came and stopped. So I saw it like in 3 cars behind. And there was heavy traffic behind us. So we had lane split and gotten out of traffic. So the other guys were behind us. And so I funguliad to go. Gear 2, gear 3. And then the matatu just either didn't see us or decides matatu, boda bodas, or decides whatever. I don't know. He came in. So he's using the blind side off because the other traffic is still there. So I saw him when he got to the front car. There was no time.
Kind of too late.
It was too late, yeah.
So you
Braked.
rammed into
My
it.
bike has no ABS. It's like yours.
Yeah.
So fishtailing and now choosing the easiest way to go down.
This choosing the easiest way to go down.
That's what we tell ourselves. By
Oh.
the way, whenever you're in the accident, you tell yourself you're very smart, you're choosing the easiest way, but things happen.
But really, you don't have that power.
I don't think you have that power.
You go.
You go. But you use your little instinct to try and save yourself. Everybody does that. Your instincts will tell you, save yourself as much as you can. So I believe there are some things that people do that
I was with
are
someone
done
here.
for the good, but sometimes...
Someone here said that apart from learning how to ride, you also learn how to fall. It's very important. I didn't know that until then, and I went and I did my research, and I realized, falling can be a technique, even though it's not something you choose to, like you can't just go on the highway and be like, okay, today, hapo Thika Road, nataka ni guse lami kidogo. You don't
No,
plan it
can
like
I show you how it happens?
Yeah, we have dummies there. You can.
That's how it happens. You ducked.
Mm.
Your instincts just tell you save yourself. But sometimes they save...
How to?
Yeah, just what to do. You see, I wanted to hit you,
But
but you ducked. Yeah.
That's
So
instinct.
it's the same way you will think when you realize you're in danger. Yeah, but there's what you can do, and there's what sometimes is not possible.
So how bad was it? Were you hurt? And your bike?
My bike was not really hurt. I was hurt. I hear people say, bike ikiumia, mwenyewe hajaumia. Mwenyewe akiumia, bike hajaumia. I hear that.
One has to give.
One has to give. So I'm the one who got injured. I was thrown off the bike. And by the way, I thought I'm the one who jumped. So even the lady I was with, my friend, I was telling her how I jumped. And she said, Madam,
You didn't jump.
you didn't jump.
Please, you're not Superman.
You were hit hard and thrown off. I said, na vile nimeambia watu huku mimi ni superwoman. She's like, wacha ikatu hivyo. Wacha we keep to that story.
Usiendelee kuambia.
The truth is, you were hit hard.
Ulirushwa.
Sikufly. Yes. So I landed on my knee. I had my good gear, but the impact was too hard, so it cut my tendon from inside.
So sometimes gears are good, but when the impact is too hard, it does not help that much. It helps, but not.
It helps, but not so much. There's a certain level that you will still get some injuries. So what the gear does for you, the gear doesn't mean you won't get injured. The gear means that your level of injuries will be reduced.
Or minimal, yeah.
Yes. So I think without the same gear, I would have even shattered my knee. So the gear doesn't mean no injuries. It means that the injuries you get, the level is highly reduced.
Gearing is very important.
It's very important.
It's sad how some people ignore that, and they always just feel you can get away with it.
Yeah. Very unfortunate, because the law will put the law. The police will be put there to enforce the law. But if you choose as a person not to protect yourself, there's nothing anybody else can do for you. Nothing.
That is true.
Yeah. You know you should wear a helmet. You know you should gear up. But you choose not to wear. It doesn't matter whether the law says what, whether the police will put you in jail once. There's nothing anybody can do for you for those choices. They are personal choices and they have consequences.
So, Wamuyu, this podcast is watched by bikers mostly. I've never, of all the gear shops, I've never heard of the Lipa Pole Pole. So maybe you can just clarify that for the sake of the bikers, which is we talk about the gears and the importance. Could you maybe explain how your system works with this Lipa Pole Pole?
Okay, so can I go back a little to where we started with this? From my charity work with I Ride for Helmet, I got donations from people of second-hand helmets. All I used to ask is accident-free and in good condition that can be used. You don't use it, you bought a new one, but it's still in good condition. And those are the ones I used to give. But that's not a sustainable project. Because even if I get 10, and I get 10 people who they don't fit, I'm still not able to give. So I started preaching to the riders that they can get this gear and buy it. That time I wasn't selling any gear. And they would ask me, where can we buy? And I would refer them to other shops. And they started telling, Madam, wezi kuja utusomeshe hapa, alafu unatutuma mahali ingine. Can you bring those things for us?
Really?
Yes. And that is how Throttleware was born.
You're teaching them, but your exams ni pali pengine.
So Throttleware, when it started, we wanted to do only adventure clothing. We thought, we know, and we had good experience and learning lessons about adventure clothing for motorcycle riders when you're traveling, because we made enough mistakes. In the choices of clothes we packed, choices of shoes we packed, we made enough mistakes. So we thought, let's have our own brand for adventure clothing, because majority of the good things we found are not things that are found here locally, in terms of sometimes not because Kenya can't afford, it's because they don't serve our weather.
Yeah, true.
Yeah? Or there isn't a big market for them. And we thought if we brought our own brand that will serve the riders, because people have started traveling now for more than a weekend, that would be good. And that is how Throttleware started. But selling of motorcycle safety wear is as a result of my good friend commercial riders, who I have taught for quite some time. So I started with helmets, and I would get them from the other local shops, and I started stocking kidogo. So when I go and train and they ask ziko wapi, I tell them, let's go to my shop. If you go to my Instagram, from the first post, you're going to see how that shop has evolved. You'll be shocked. Then now, they came to the shop and said, hey, madam, eBay, hii hatuwezi kupata 10K, one day nilipe cash ni ngumu. So again, we started having those conversations of how can it work for you. And I arrived at Lipa Pole Pole, so long as you collect your helmet when you finish paying. Reason being, I don't have a financier for this project. And it's not because I haven't found one, it's because I don't want one.
Why?
Because financiers make it expensive.
They want return on investments and stuff like that, profits.
Exactly. So if a helmet goes for 10,000 and I partner with a financier who pays me my 10,000 and is left collecting money from the rider,
it's going to be expensive.
that helmet will probably end up being
15K
or something. Now, that goes against my goal of,
the plan.
Of making helmets accessible and affordable. Accessible, having a place you can buy them. Affordable doesn't mean cheap. It means giving you a plan that will make you afford that helmet without breaking the bank, without neglecting your family, without straining too much. So that's how Lipa Pole Pole came about. So you come, you fit the helmet. There's always some education when you come to our shop. We learn something from each other. It's not always Wamuyu teaching. Most of the times I'm learning from these gentlemen and ladies. So we learn. You fit the helmet, you choose the color. Then you start paying for it per day. we give 30 days, but we've had cases where we've given 60 days. But 60 days is the most we can do. Because if I get 10 clients today and they start paying 350, it means I have to look for money to restock 10 helmets so that a cash customer can get. Because I can't sell somebody's helmet.
So when a customer buys on Lipa Pole Pole, you take the helmet and you put it aside?
We put a sticker reserved and we put the name and the number.
Okay.
Because sometimes in 30 days, we could finish the stock in the color you choose. So if I sell it, you come back 30 days. Then I start giving you stories that, unajua ulichagua hii color lakini imeisha.
Inapendwa na wote.
And the day I say it okay for you to pay me pole pole, I put a commitment. It's an agreement that I will keep that helmet and you will pay me. So I can't sell it and start giving you stories later. Yeah.
What if someone defaults? And it's been on demand and
so
the supply is low?
I work with, although even private riders do take the Lipa Pole Pole options, majority are commercial riders. I work with people who earn daily, and that income that is earned daily is shared between family, rent, fuel, bike service, all those things. So we are many people sharing that income per day. So what I tell the riders, if you're on Lipa Pole Pole, and let's say, for example, bike iharibike, and you're off job for 2 days, let me know.
Oh, okay.
I'll wait for those 2 days, and then you will resume.
And when you resume, do you pay the 2 days, or you just pick up? It
depends on how the financial situation is. You can resume and continue.
From the client's end, okay.
Or you can resume and pay up. If you have an accident, let me know. If something happens, let me know. I had a case where this rider was paying pole pole. The wife was expecting their first child. He was prepared for everything. But when they went to hospital, the wife got complications and became a CS. This is a first child, so they've never had another child. So these are things that they will never know until it happens. And he called me. And we were able to hold the payment for even about a month. Because honestly, I can't put him in a situation where he has to choose the helmet over his family.
Sure, yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Does not make sense.
Yeah. So there are such incidences where we will have that conversation, put on the hold. Few and very few have gotten stuck somewhere. You come back and retrieve the money you've given us with something that is equal to the amount. We don't have a problem.
You can give back the money?
We don't give back the money. So
you can pick something.
You can pick something
like gloves. Maybe if you lipat pole to 3,000, you take something that's worth 3,000.
Yeah.
But that you don't have the room to bargain.
You don't have the room to bargain because we are meeting halfway. I'm in business.
And you're stuck.
And you're also stuck. And you don't want your money to get lost. Neither do I. So we meet halfway. These conversations and the human approach for me has really been helpful. And I think that's what has grown the business of Lipa Pole Pole. Having that human approach to things. The fact that you can come and tell me, bike iko garage na ikutoka. So sitaweza kulipa leo. And I tell you it's okay.
Because priority is getting the bike out of the garage now.
Without that bike, that guy has no income.
Why do you have a helmet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. Now, about your journey, how has the experience been like being doing the world tour now?
Well, I wish I was still out there. I've never settled back.
You're not leaving right now because of the injury, or?
No, the world tour, the reason why we are not out there is because it's the best way, sweetest way, awesome way to get broke.
You're not there because it is there.
So we are not back out there because we are looking for money to be able to go out there again.
Ukiomoka tu hivi out.
Aki, sifanya hivyo. Uko na plug?
I'll remember you in my
Uko na
prayers.
plug?
Mimi plugs niko nao ni wenye wanakutafuta.
Wako na do?
Tutawauliza after this. But that is interesting. So once you get the money, you're just here because of that.
Yeah.
But
once
so
we get the money, we will get out again.
And so far, like, how has the experience been?
The experience was awesome. We experienced the world in a very new way. All those things you read about countries, things that people write about insecurities, people write about bad experiences. We were able to see that these are personal experiences that really don't have to do with the entire country.
Really?
That don't have to scare anyone from traveling or from visiting countries. I mean, if somebody is mugged in Nairobi, they will tell about being mugged in Nairobi. But
it doesn't happen to everyone.
It doesn't happen to everyone, and it doesn't happen every day. But unfortunately, the social media can take things out of proportion.
They give it one
and
star.
It can sell you fear very easily. But we were able to experience the world from a different angle and be able to know that, you can read all these experiences, but don't make it like that's what's going to happen to me or that's what happens every day. Just use them to be cautious in the way you approach things. Because even here, even we as Kenyans in Nairobi, we are mugged.
Tuko na mambo.
Na hatujahama.
Tuna survive.
I mean, you're just cautious. The same way you're cautious at home, the same way you think about your security, it's the same way you think when you're anywhere in the world.
Are you comfortable to give me a bad experience and a good experience? And you name the country.
Bad experience? Yes. I don't know whether to put it as bad, but yeah, it was bad. So we are crossing from Chile to Bolivia. The border we chose to cross through, we didn't know it's a border used for drug trafficking. You know, those countries are... those countries have a lot of that. So we didn't know it's a border that is used for drug trafficking. And therefore, the screening, the border controls are many. Before you get to the border, there are several border controls with police. And so the screening is much more of the people who use that route, and it's not a popular route for people. It's not a route you're going to find matatus mingi, buses mingi, a lot of people. So the first stop, we were stopped. My husband used to keep the passports here so that they're easy to access. Whenever we know we are going to be crossing a border, we keep them somewhere we can access them easily. So we are stopped. I am behind him, he's ahead. And then he's asked for passport. And he pulls his jacket, and the police thinks he's pulling a gun. And so he pulls his gun and cocks it.
Thinks you guys are drug dealers.
He was being cautious because that route, that is a possibility. And now we are on motorcycles. Motorcycles are easy getaway vehicles.
Yeah, throttle and you're out.
Yeah, so I had to scream from my behind.
Because you saw the gun being pulled.
Yes, and he was in shock. He said nothing. And that's when the police heard me and heard the voice is a woman. And so he asked him, who is that?
No language barrier this time speaking.
We used to know a bit. So the question would go like, esposa, meaning, is that your spouse? And then he said yes. And then now we explained where
yes
we're
is
going.
what? Yes is what? According to the movies, is it C?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then now he asked us questions. We explained. And that's when he told us, when he pulled the jacket up, to him, it was a sign that he could be armed. So he was getting ready. But he promised us, he told us he couldn't have shot.
He's trained.
Maybe if the gun came out, he would have shot. But yeah, nothing came out. I think that was the most scary. And of course, when you got to that border, again, we were stuck there for so long.
Oh, the checks and everything.
They screen everything. You have dogs sniffing your everything. You open up everything, paperwork. Yeah.
And there are a lot of people as well in the line doing the same thing.
Yeah, and
waiting.
because they cannot suspect. Okay, everybody is a suspect,
Of course.
and they cannot call you a drug dealer without evidence.
So they have to
So
keep
they
on
make
searching.
sure they take you through a process that if you're one, you'll start showing the signs, or
Like resistance.
maybe you'll get agitated, maybe you get impatient, maybe whatever. They just use whatever tactics that works to be able to get this out. So yeah, we ended up sleeping in a very remote area, very cold in the mountains, because we lost so much time.
Or to continue with the journey.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a bad one.
That one sounds like a thrill. Give me something else.
Of a bad one.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That one would have been a thrill for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be like, damn.
That's now where gender difference comes in. Thrill. Okay, which one? We didn't have bad experiences.
So it's been good. Like,
Yeah.
when as you're talking, I try to compare you with this lady called Itchy Boots. I don't know if you know
What?
Itchy Boots.
I know Itchy Boots.
Yeah, Itchy Boots.
I'm waiting for today's video. We are current like that.
You've subscribed already and all that.
We are current.
Yeah, if you have connections, please get her on my show. In case.
She I don't know whether she'll come here because she stopped the ride in West Africa after the bike got a problem, and I see now she's in India. So I don't know whether
She's
she
in
has
India.
plans to come back here. But because she's extremely famous, known by everybody, she doesn't post anything current. So it's hard to know when she is.
Where she is.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And for the same reason, for her security, she will not respond to DMs if she doesn't know you. But it's purely for her security.
Yeah, it's understandable.
So let's hope she gets in Kenya and we get to catch up with her.
I'm counting on you.
Sawa.
Yeah, because
I am honored.
Yeah, that's what you mentioned. There's these
Guys, she thinks I know Itchy Boots.
No, actually,
honored.
I think she knows everyone. With the couch surfing and hosting everyone and traveling to 19 countries.
Yes. So Itchy Boots, they're waiting for you through me.
Yeah, Wamuyu, mwambie akuje Curt on Wheels podcast to be
Yes.
specific
Yes.
when she comes here, when she visits Kenya. Because there was this episode where she reached to a border and then, these Africans with guns and they were threatening her. They were cocking the guns.
that
And
was
then she
West
was
Africa.
very relaxed and everything. And they took away her GoPro.
Let me tell you, when you're traveling outside your home for the longest, those are the skills you learn. And it's not like you sit and tell yourself, now I have to learn these things, I have to behave like this. They automatically become you.
Patience and relaxation.
And yeah.
You don't lose your cool.
You don't lose your cool. I doubt out there I was the same person I was back then. No.
You want to tell me
It changes
this traveling can shape someone?
It shapes you.
Oh, really?
Kama uko na adabu utapata.
Bila kiboko.
Ai, kabisa. It shapes you.
That is interesting. See what biking can do to a person.
Imagine.
Like imagine a hobby. This was your hobby, I assume.
Yes, I used to be in Safari Rally. I never got into.
You were in Safari Rally?
Yes, but I never got into competitive Safari
Driving?
Rally. Yes.
Like we'd be having another before Maxine. It would have been you.
Do you remember Warembo Bila Makeup? Maybe you don't know them.
Don't start saying maybe I was not this and that. Warembo Bila Makeup. What was this about?
Those were the first rally women. Warembo Bila Makeup. Stella Masharia. If you Google, you'll find her. So I was training and coming to join the ladies.
Which year is this? Sorry.
2000 and maybe 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, I was in primary.
Please call me mom.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I saw the other day you are it has begun.
I need some respect here.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. There was another one you said you're a queenager. There is yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's this lady I was talking to at my shop, and then the way we are talking, which is this, and then she says, I was in class 2. I told her, can you call me? Hello, mother. In Kikuyu, it would be, every time she greets me, she has to go, Wakia maito.
Wakia maito.
Wakia maito.
Wakia maito.
That's how you greet your mother. I
Wakia
told her from
maito.
that day, I never want to see you joking with me.
I'm your mother.
I'm your mother.
When I say jump,
Class
you ask
2.
how high.
Mimi nakupea stories za nikigwa job na watoto na uko class 2.
Kidogo hata uache.
Aki conversation ilienda too flat hapo. We had nothing in common again.
Aikata itakusaidia aje story.
It's like reading a history book.
And now you're narrating the really to.
I imagined after that she was like, nilikuwa napewa hadithi za zamani.
Okay, now that one.
Long time before, long time ago.
Old school vibes. Man, that's great.
Hey. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what was the question?
Yeah, where's the director? It's like the guy was supposed to keep tabs.
He's gone.
Yeah, we're talking about
oh yeah.
And then you're telling me something to do with I said I was in class 5. Warembo bila makeup.
Yes. So my trainer was Azar Anwar. I think he's now retired rally driver. He was a rally driver with Akina Abdul Sidi. Yes, I'm a rally enthusiast from way back when I was a small girl like this. We used to walk for kilometers to go and watch Shakameta.
I have no clue who those people. I only know Makre Kimathi.
Yes, I see. So many guys. Yeah. I used to be one of those people, gazeti kinunuliwa. I take that page for marking who is winning the rally. And we are listening to a radio station. Hatuna TV. We are listening to a radio station. So that's where rally started. So I thought I would get into rally when I grew up. My kids were very little by then. They were both below 10. They were both below 10. And there used to be this thing at the river. I think niyo shamba yenye wanafukuza watu wamebomoa huko. Yes. There used to be rally that used to happen there on a closed circuit.
It was just plain land.
Yeah, it was plain land. And Abdul Sidi started a school to train navigators, where you learn how to read the rally notes, to write them, and to navigate. Azar was doing the practical driving. So I joined Azar. And he was such a good trainer and mentor, and he wanted to get me into the rally. And he was like, we have a new lady coming. We will have now more. But the money that sport requires.
I was about to ask you.
Where?
Not much of a difference from biking, though.
No, it's more. Because you see, biking, you can use your bike on daily commute. You can use it. You don't have to keep it for the track, not unless you went for that one that was prepared for the track. So if it is one specifically prepared for the track,
but for the
then
rallies,
it won't be for the road. But you see, for the rally cars, you don't have that option of being able to use your car on the road and then use it because it's prepared for the racing alone.
The modifications and all
everything, yes.
Oh.
So by the time I was getting to get a navigation sport, because most people start from there. I don't have a car, so you get somebody with a car, and then if they accept you, you can gel, you can do things together, then they will accept you to navigate them. So you become a team. So the person with the car is a driver, and you're the navigator.
That's where you start.
Most people have started that way, but we have people who have been able to start as drivers. My prayer was to be able to start as a driver, but I didn't have a car and I didn't have the money.
Oh.
So I was told you can start as a navigator as you're growing your skills. Hey, the money I needed for just one season was not achievable with below 10. 2 of them below 10.
10 mil.
No, below 10 kids,
Oh,
2 of them, and you need money for. So there's the registration fee, there's the money you put in, because this car is being kitted by someone, and since you're a team, you're sharing the cost.
even you as a navigator now.
Yes, because you become a team and it's your car.
But why don't you get to drive? If you're sharing the cost, you enjoy the ride as well.
Let me ask you. You have a bike.
Yeah.
You have a partner?
No,
Okay. You have a friend?
I do.
Would you give them the bike and now you become the pillion?
No. Okay. Vile umesema tu give them the bike. Kusema heartache.
That's what happens with the same attachment we get with our motorcycles. It's the same attachments with rally drivers have with their cars. So you find if you came in as a rally driver, you invested in a car, you chose it, you built it. If you're getting someone when you're already ready as a driver with a car, you're probably now sharing the costs of maybe the season, maybe not the car, maybe spare parts and all the other costs that come with the sport on that season. Or you could even agree to share everything from the beginning, you know. But at the end of that season, you're looking at that money again because igari itavuja shocks, igari ita need to reset your engine. There's so much work that will be done. Maybe you rolled, maybe something happened.
But what's the return on investment?
Once you are good in the sport, you start getting sponsorships. And the sponsorships are good now because you're even able to pay yourself. But until you get there, you have to grow. And the growth
Takes time.
is experience, and it takes time.
Money.
And you have to invest in that growth. The same way hakuna mtu alishaingia track as a
Bila
first day
that.
rider. Yeah,
Itakuramba.
itakuramba.
Wow. So that's Warembo Bila Makeup. So that's how. So this is a group of women
Yeah,
who
they
are
were
aspiring to
two.
be
No,
rally.
them they were already there. That if you check Warembo Bila Makeup,
It's still in existence.
no, they don't do the rally anymore, but they did. They were very, very good. So now I was like, they've set the pace.
They
and
want
now,
you to take over.
not take over, they're building the community of women in
Rally.
the rally sport. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That is very interesting. I wish I was big in those days.
I know. I wish I was a little bit taller or older.
You know, we don't have a lot of women doing super bikes in Kenya. It's only a few.
Yeah.
I wish there was that as well because there's this. Do you attend the track races, the championships?
I
The one that
do.
happens at the Whistling Moran?
I do. I haven't attended recently, but I know we had Trees, we had Harmony, we had Gena. I've met someone new I don't know whether she started or she's starting, called Christine.
Christine.
Yeah.
She's racing on the track.
I think she's getting into it.
Which
If
year
she
was this?
hasn't- No, I met her recently and she was talking about getting into the track. She's from Beth team, I think.
Beth Mobility.
Beth Mobility. So I know a few ladies who's been there. Mina Reeves.
I don't know any of them. So I mean, maybe.
You have a job to do with this podcast.
I'm starting to realize.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yes.
Now you will just be sending me contacts, telling me who she's good, and I'll be doing my research and all that. What difference do you see there is during biking in 2015, 16, 17, and right now?
Oh, the growth.
Massive.
Amazing. The right direction. We're growing positively, to be honest.
What are some of the positive remarks you'd give?
2015, for example, we were a very small group of women who literally rode the motorcycle. We had enthusiasts. But those who literally rode the motorcycle, we were very few. Look at today.
A lot.
Ink Sisterhood Association. The Ink Sisterhood has over 160 women.
Who are bikers?
Yes. And very few are out of Nairobi. Majority are based in Nairobi.
Really?
There is Women Bikers Association. There is Piki Dada. There is Throttle Queens. Yeah?
Wow.
You're shocked. But the biggest group is Ink Sisterhood, which is my association. Hello.
Ink Sisterhood.
Yes.
Do my
Ink
shout
Sisterhood.
outs.
Shout out to Ink Sisterhood and all the good work you're doing. They mentor all the women. It doesn't matter whether you belong to another club or not. You're welcome. We have a group that is open to all women who ride, private. And then we have the association, which is a paid up membership. So you can choose, you can choose to be a member of the association, Ink Sisterhood Association. That one is paid up membership. Then we have the community where we welcome everybody. So you'll find even WBA
They're the same.
are in us, are in our community.
Wait, WBA is inside Ink Sisterhood Association or Ink Sisterhood?
Ink Sisterhood, a community.
So Ink Sisterhood is an umbrella?
There's the association and there's a community. The community is open to anyone. So we have a WhatsApp group that so long as you're a motorcycle rider, woman.
Oh, you don't come in as Piki Dada, you just come in as a rider.
Even if you subscribe to other association or
you can
other
still
group,
get in there.
you will be able to come in. But if you want to be a member of the association, now there you pay a subscription fee, a membership fee.
What are the benefits
of being in the association?
Yeah, when you pay subscription fees.
I think the benefits are more to the community than to us because we serve a lot in the community. We do road safety education where we focus on children, school-going children in the primary school. We do, of course, the mentorship where we welcome all the other people, regardless of where your association is. And we have what we call like confidence rides, which are organized there. We will not tell you can't join because you're not a member. They are open because we are a mentoring group.
But limited to women?
Confidence rides are limited to the community and the association. But there are days where there will be a ride like that and it will be opened up. Maybe a Nyumba Kumi has been informed. But when we do that, we let the people who are joining outside of the community know that this is a confidence ride. Therefore, we are going at the pace of the new riders. They take the day. We are not leaving them behind. Neither are we going to be in a hurry, speeding and all that. And also the distance is one that is comfortable for. So if you're looking for a ride where you just want to go and have coffee, a confidence ride would be one. You'll have a short ride and more time to rest and socialize, and then another short ride back home, but at the pace of the new riders, not at the pace of the experienced riders.
Nice.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so we give that support. You also can be partnered with someone because not everybody has the time to join groups, and also not every new rider is comfortable to join a group ride. Sometimes it's very intimidating for new riders. So if you feel that numbers will intimidate you, we partner you with someone who is close to you, and they can do that with you on weekends. You can plan when you're available, so long as traffic is less. Other intimidating factors are also considered. Yeah.
Okay, and this is something that only Ink Sisterhood does, or also these other ones like WBA, they do the same thing, or maybe you don't know what they do because you're not a member of.
The confidence rides are highly championed by Ink Sisterhood, but it's because of numbers, because everybody who starts riding as a lady joins the group, and therefore you'll find that everybody has started through the community of Ink Sisterhood before they choose the club they want to be in. So that's why they're championed from Ink Sisterhood. So by the time you're getting to join WBA, Piki Dada, Throttle Queens, it's because you found a community of ladies and now you started getting this information, and then you realized WBA aligns to my goals and objectives more, and I would like to be there. But that's why it's championed from there, because you start from Ink Sisterhood and then now you grow.
But you have the liberty to go anywhere you want. Nice.
We do a lot of work together. We do projects together. They're national. We have a calendar that is a joint calendar where those events are combined.
So you just
like
communicate.
A cancer month.
Oh, I saw the cancer month in
It's
October.
championed by WBA, but invites it to all clubs.
But this is now not limited to gender.
Yeah.
Even
Women-
Nyumbakumis can come in.
Yes, yes, yes.
In this
But
country, sorry.
But you'll realize it's championed by WBA. We have the World Day of Remembrance that's happening on 19th. That is championed by Ing Sisterhood. Invites her to all, regardless of gender. We have International Female Riders Day. Again, that is championed by WBA. Invited to all female riders. Yeah. So we have events that are national, and we have clubs that have chosen to champion with us. They feel they want to work with that particular event, whatever happens, and then they're the ones who bring everybody together. They do most of the work also.
So with these events, you plan and then you go for a ride somewhere, like for the remembrance of...
So like the World Day of Remembrance, there's tree planting. I think there'll be a ride from City Center to Gong Hill, not Gong Hills, to Gong Racecourse, the forest at Gong Racecourse, where we have the cemetery for the war victims or something.
Yeah, veterans.
Yes, that one. That's where the tree planting will happen. So it's a short ride. The weather is bad, and whenever we are doing an event that has a national approach, we consider everybody that we want to join. So you make it a long distance, you leave out people who haven't ridden long distance because they won't be comfortable to do. You make it a long distance in this weather, you leave out people who are new into riding, who have no experience in the rain, and maybe they would have wanted to do that.
What if they wanted to do that actually? Because
When
that's how you get experience.
Yeah, but you know, when you're learning things in a small group or solo, it's different from when you have a larger group.
Yeah.
The dynamics are different. So sometimes you think you want to get experience, but the numbers are too big that at the end of the day, it intimidates you and takes you back in what you have learned because of what experience again and intimidation you got from that.
Too much pressure.
Yes, yes.
Nice. When you travel to these other countries, do you experience the same things like the Nyumbakumis in those places? So you don't get to interact with other bikers, or maybe to learn about the culture a little bit more about two wheels?
We did quite a lot. So during our travel, there was the world's Women Riders World Relay, WR, that was happening, championed by a lady from UK called Hailey Bailey, yes, from UK. She sat and thought, why not have a relay of women riders around the world? And that's how that story started. So 2018, she started planning about the relay, and the relay was going to be as many countries as possible around the world, and it's women riders passing a baton from one country to another. Me being Wamuyu, contacted her and volunteered to support from Kenya. But I was traveling. We did the most we could do. Kenya managed to get into the map. At the end of it, at the end of the logistic planning, 80 countries got into the map. And Kenya was the last country in Africa, passing the baton to UAE, and from UAE it was going to back to UK. So can you see how we held a critical position as Kenya? Because it means it will have done 78 countries. So if we fail 78 countries.
Tunaona hashtag.
Yes.
Pale Twitter.
Yes. And me being Wamuyu, I decided I want to work with these ladies while on the road. I did. Do you know it? I had to come back home.
To get to pass the nini?
To pass the baton. Because I took a responsibility.
Where are you coming from?
Panama. We were on our world tour. By the time the baton was getting to Malawi, the baton was coming to Kenya, we were in Panama. Baton was coming to Kenya in January. We entered Panama in November. Because I was going to come back home to do this, then we had to choose a country that we can stay longer, because I was going to leave those there fly back home, do the relay, finish, and fly back. So Panama gives Kenyans 6 months. Once you enter, you can stay there for 6 months. So it was the best place for us to be. So I came home, and it turned out that Tanzania didn't have ladies who ride. So Kenya became the ambassador of Tanzania. So we were championing 2 countries, Tanzania and Kenya. And we had to pick the baton from the border of Malawi and Tanzania.
You have these photos?
Yes, I'll share with you.
Yeah, please.
Awesome photos. And picking the baton, we were also picking 5 international women who rode from South Africa. Some were South Africans, but South Africa is also not Kenya, so it's inter-Africa, but yeah. 5 international women, because we had 1 from Belgium, we had 1 from Canada, we had 3 South Africa. Actually, there were 6, and 1 in Malawi came to Kenya. So we had to come with them to Kenya. We got a lot of support from Tanzania riders.
They came through?
They came through. Do you know they rode with us for the entire 10 days? They rode with us in Tanzania. As in, these gentlemen left their jobs, their families, rode with us. They picked us from Namanga, rode with us to the border of Malawi, came back with us until Namanga, left us when we crossed.
For the love of 2 wheels.
Please, let's just give a shout out to Tanzanian bikers.
Well done.
For being awesome. I can't name them, all of them here, but you guys, you rock.
Are they like a group or something, or?
Yes.
Oh, you don't know the name of the group or the crew?
Okay, they come from different groups, but they know each other. But 10 days leaving your family, your work, your everything for this. You're a blessing, brothers. You're a blessing.
Hopefully we'll meet again.
Oh, definitely, yes. Definitely.
As soon as you're back on the road, I know.
Yes.
And the money pops in.
Kwanza hapo pesa.
Tusiongee pesa sasa.
Hapo. Yeah. So because of that, I was able to get connected with groups in all these countries. Even the countries that did not get to the map had already joined the forum. Because when the logistics were being done now, the baton had to move in a way that is easier and achievable. So some countries just got dropped because of logistics issues, but not because they didn't qualify it. Just logistics. How do you move from this? Yes. But they were all in this community. So in one Facebook group, I had the world in my hands. All the biker women clubs in my hands.
That's quite an experience.
So I have a very good network out there.
Yeah.
Amazing women once again. You guys, sisters, I miss you. Amazing women. So we were able to get to meet through them. Even if they were not available, they would introduce us to. And every time I said, I'm traveling with my husband, there will be chicks and there will be dudes. So they would bring clubs of both gender. So my husband never got bored.
He never got bored.
Wanasema useme kitu.
You will come and say it here after some time. You travel with your husband in all these countries, yeah?
Yes. Yes.
So you are not alone.
Yes.
That's an interesting journey already. There's something I wanted to ask you, but imepotea kidogo. But it touches on this you going around the journey. But meanwhile, let's talk about you still haven't given me some of the best experiences that you've had.
Wow.
We only have a thrill so far.
We had best experiences everywhere. I think that's what made this journey what it is, and the memories that we have, and the reason why we can't wait to get money again to go back. Because in each and every country we had amazing experiences. Oh, I had an accident. Maybe that will go for the bad experience.
Now that's bad.
I had an accident in Uganda. I broke 2 ribs. I didn't realize.
Ribs.
Yes. The fracture was not that bad then. So I didn't realize. The accident was self-accident. I just couldn't make a turn on a hilly place. It was wet, hilly, rocky. And I had to take a turn to go down.
So wrong maneuvers.
So I just made the wrong maneuver and then I went, slammed a rock on my side. It felt painful, but didn't feel like there was serious injuries. We went to Rwanda. The pain continued. It was bad when I was sleeping, so we used to think...
Or you could feel something.
Yeah. Finished Rwanda, crossed Tanzania from Rwanda side all the way to Dar es Salaam. Went to Zanzibar. Came back to Dar. The day we were leaving, Dar es Salaam bikers. Hello, guys. Dar es Salaam bikers. They
Hey,
had
you
come.
met a lot of bikers.
Yes.
From out of this country.
Yes. They were coming to escort us out of Dar. And so we are packing our things, and I lift my bag, and I complete 1 fracture. So it felt like something has just snapped, and it was very painful. I dropped everything. Luckily, we were staying in an Airbnb whose owner was a doctor.
Wow.
So me, I just told him what I have felt, touched, said, let's go to hospital. So he took us to hospital. Luckily, again, he worked in that hospital, so we didn't have to queue and wait. We had the privileges of knowing the doctor who was here.
Connections.
So we did the x-rays, and the doctor is looking at the x-ray and looking at us, looking at the x-ray, and we're asking each other, what is he saying? Looking at the x-ray. Then he says, give me 5 minutes, I go consult. Then he comes back, and he goes, is this your husband? That's when it hits us. I think I have a fracture. And
It's
maybe
bad.
he thinks I've been beaten. Why is he asking whether this is your husband? So anyway, there was a complete fracture. And the other one was not complete, but you could see the crack nicely.
It's like a chip. It's almost.
What they call slightly deeper than a hairline. Yeah. So he said, ribs, you don't plaster. So they heal on their own.
Really?
Yeah. So they tell you what not to do to make it worse.
They didn't do an operation or anything?
No. They said they don't do that for ribs. They just heal. And then it wasn't
Because
like...
they're fragile anyway.
It wasn't like like this. It completed like this. So this was not going to have like puncture any of the internal organs or anything. It's complete, but it's just kidogo like this.
So you have to stay
Yeah,
in
so
position,
he took us
no
through
movements.
all that. This is what you observe. If you feel this, then you come back to hospital. Don't do this, don't do this. I insisted, give me painkillers. He was like, if we have strong painkillers, you might not feel some of these things, and we would want you to feel them so that we know whether things are getting worse or not. Anyway, we begged. He agreed. Give me the painkillers for that day because the pain was a lot. Went home. That day we didn't leave, so slept. With the painkillers, I slept very well. So when we woke up the following day, I told my husband, we are going.
On a bike.
Oh, yes, we are going.
Gangster points, 1,000.
So the plan was, he will lift all my luggage and put it on the bike. He'll load my bike. Then when I sit on the bike, he'll push me up, because now I can't pull it up because
The
of the
weight.
strain. When I'm in motion, nothing is happening. When we stop, I wait for him to come. We put the bike down again. And that's how we traveled. We never went back to see that doctor. I've never had another x-ray, by the way.
Hey. That's now an
Somewhere
experience.
finishing South Africa. Actually, not finishing because we did Sunny Pass and it was okay. Yeah, somewhere I think it healed by itself.
After how long?
I would say 2.5 months maybe.
If life must go on was a person.
Yes. Because we did Sunny Pass, and Sunny Pass was tough and I didn't feel the pain.
If it wasn't for the love of riding, you'd have gone back, yeah, to heal, I think. Or what motivates you?
Maybe.
What
Let me say,
motivated
there
you
was
to continue?
No way. What motivated me to continue is the fear of having to stop this trip, because I was scared that if I listen to the injuries, if I let my mind be taken over by the pain and the injuries and what not the doctor was saying, Aki, we are going nowhere. So, twende. Ikikata itakatalia, mahali itakatalia. There are hospitals in each and every country. We shall go there.
So all these flags that I've seen, it's not like you're going and then you're coming, you're going and you're coming.
No.
It was all at once.
Yes.
And it took you how many years?
2.5.
So you came back in 2020, or from 2018?
We came in August, actually. September, beginning, end of August, maybe, I think.
You're not affected with the COVID situation now in the world?
It's the one that brought us back. We got stuck in Nicaragua for 5.5 months.
Because of the movement restrictions.
The world shut down 2 days after we got into Nicaragua. 2 days. It was like switching off lights, you see. That has gone off.
And it keeps going.
And in 3 days we were like... I remember we entered Nicaragua on 15th.
Where is that, Nicaragua?
Nicaragua is Central America.
Mm-hmm.
15th, it was on a Saturday. Sunday, 16th, we got to the city because we needed to get visas for the C4 countries, Honduras, Guatemala, and that other country does. El Salvador. So we got in. You will edit.
Atakuja kusalimia watu. You know, people want to know who's this guy with the Mwakenya kona notes.
Yeah, so Monday 17th, we put in our papers for Honduras and Guatemala. And I think one of the countries asked us to bring more information on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, armed with our extra information required, we went to the embassy and they said, here are your papers. The portal for visa application has been closed. We are not allowed to get anybody into the country. So we were like, okay, we go to the other one and see whether we can manage to get to Honduras. They said, we can't return your papers, but the portal has been closed. We can't process any visa. So that was the first shutting on us was like, wow, this thing is happening. Then we go back to the hostel, and then now we find news. It was like fire.
Wait, all this time the visas are not being processed. You don't know what's happening. Ama, you had an idea?
We had an idea that the world is
COVID,
shutting down because of COVID. And in 1 week, everything shut down. In 10 days, Uhuru announced the airspace for Kenya has been closed, and we knew. Hata kama tungeacha bikes to fly home, now we can't even fly. So we stayed, yes.
So how did you come back eventually?
We had to wait for the world's borders to start opening again when Kenya opened the airspace. And there was only one flight from...
How long did it take before Kenya could open the airspace?
Kenya opened the airspace in May or June. I think June.
Of 2020?
Yes. May or June.
But it was very limited.
Yeah, because there was only one flight serving the US, anybody stuck in the US to Kenya. And you had to even register.
And then you have to quarantine and all that.
And then now, when the airspace opened, that's when now we were like, now we must get our bikes out. Zingie tu kwa meli, zianze safari. Because even cargo was not working. Sea freight, nothing was working. So the minute we had Kenya is opening the airspace, there is one flight you have to register. If you're in Europe, you register to come via UK. If you're in America, you register, then Kenya Airways inabeba watu. Even the first flights, I think they used to give people rebates or something. They were not as... It wasn't like a full fare. Yeah, the government used to compensate the flights because they really needed to get those who were stuck back home. So we started looking for cargo flight for our bikes by sea. So that took almost a month before we got one. Because even them, they were opening slowly. Then There was no cargo. So here you are with your 2 bikes, but meli haina mzigo, itaenda aje?
Lazima ijae.
At least economic, something that makes economic sense. And then also the country we were in, they don't have cargo that comes to Kenya. So that was another challenge. So they also have to do the logistics of, we will ship this from here to this destination so that it can be combined in another vessel that will take it to, there was that logistics that they had to do themselves because they don't have direct shipping to Africa. So finding that took long, but we were lucky to get a very good agent in Nicaragua who did everything for us. He actually went above and beyond for us to make sure that our bikes are loaded and they've left. That guy went above and beyond for us.
And they were loaded and they came to Kenya.
Can I tell you that this guy came for his money from us when our bikes had crossed the border paperwork? As in, they had been shipped to the port and they had been cleared as having left Nicaragua. They are now on that side waiting to be loaded to the vessel. Hatujamlipa bado. Huyo si Mungu.
Oh.
Yes.
The kindness.
The kindness.
Nice, yeah.
That's when he was coming and he trusted us. That's when he came for his money. Then after that now, because we only had the American visa, so we could only transit through the US. Then we got to the US, then there was this thing of the COVID tests to be able to fly. Kept changing. Like airlines and government changed those requirements so many times in the beginning.
It was very rapid.
We did 3 tests totaling over $1,000 before we could be allowed to fly out. We didn't get the KQ flight.
Did they spike the rates or what?
No, US prices are different from our prices.
$1,000?
For 3. Those are like 6 because each one of us is doing, every one, it's 2 people. Then the second one, another 2 tests. Then the third one, another. So those are 6 tests. We are 2 people. So it's 6 tests over $1,000. And we kept being sent back from the airport until we were tired, until I almost threw a protest at the airport. We were tired because we paid taxi. Uku Uber prices are a gift. There. Same distance we pay like maybe 8 sok. There you pay 8,000.
10 times.
It's crazy. So yeah, eventually we managed. We flew Emirates because you hear things were changing every day.
You don't know what might happen.
And before we get to the US, you will not be allowed in if you don't have a ticket home, just in case you decide to get stuck there.
And they don't want people around especially.
They are dealing with huge number of people who are locked there by COVID. Genuinely locked in there. They didn't want to stay. So they have to manage those that are coming now that the borders are opening to be sure that people are going. So we booked Emirates because by that time I think KQ was registering people. You had to be in the US. There was all those issues and we couldn't get that registration because we are also not in US to be able to register for KQ flight. So we just booked Emirates. But turned out to be very good. Eventually, yeah.
That was a direct flight to Kenya?
No, we had a layover in Dubai for 20 hours. Kwa bench.
All this for the love of adventure.
And it is not just us. It is all the flights that were transiting through Dubai because the number of people traveling was not as big because it's either you can't afford the tests to get the tests or the flights because the prices were going up every now and then, or the numbers were not big. There were always challenges that are making the flights not to be full. So there were no direct flights anywhere. The numbers didn't make economic sense. So tunafika Dubai, tunapata tumeshuka ndege kaa 5 na sisi wote tutalala huko for 20 hours waiting for the next flight that is going to come. Watuko buying to our next destination.
Oh,
So
when
it
you're
wasn't
unaenda
by
Kenya,
choice.
when you're unaenda
It
huku,
wasn't
when
by
you-
choice.
So you got here and then your bikes followed later.
Yeah.
Okay, and you had to quarantine and all that.
We had to quarantine when we came in for 2 weeks.
Man, that's a bad way to...
I remember we
To
were
shorten the
interviewed by, I think it was Citizen. It was very interesting because
Were at the airport?
you have the mic. No, they came home. So you wouldn't, they're wako huko, they're reading you questions from
2 meters.
and then the mic is here, and then you're here because you can't speak direct to it, and uko na mask.
Na sanitizer iko hivi ready.
Yes, once you finish, somebody is coming, there's somebody running and they had a lot of work. Yeah, so they come, they set it up, and then they run, then they tell you, now come. It was like that.
It was too serious.
It was too serious. You see, they couldn't be the people to be seen on TV not doing it right.
And they're the ones advocating for...
Yeah, so whether they're scared or not, they have to do it the way it is required.
Even mask.
Yes, because now
sanitizer, but still...
imagine with the stigma, the fear, and then it's them interviewing people without all those precautions, and they're telling you, you need to wear a mask. So they had to do it the way it is supposed to be done, whether they think you have it or not.
Yeah, they say anyone could have it.
Yeah,
at that
anyone
time.
could have it.
Yeah,
Plus
but
now, being media, you're a big influencer.
Yeah, but it was really bad. That was that's not a very bad experience. I'm assuming if not for the COVID, you'd have maybe right now.
We don't know where we would be because we thought South America would take us 6 months. We were there for 1.5 years. And we had not even scratched the surface. In fact, we started rushing when COVID started being talked about. So Panama to Nicaragua was like a race for us.
I've always been curious, just as we wind up. I've always been curious. How like Ichi Boots, now you travel just like her. How do you service your bikes when you get there?
So you use either the dealers or you learn how to do it, depending on what you need to do. So there are things you really don't need to take to a dealer because it costs money and you need this money. So you learn to do them, but there are things that you can't do them, you will take to a mechanic. Our bikes were still under warranty, so for us it was necessary to use the dealer, not to void our warranty. But things like changing brake pads, those we did. If
You
we
could do it yourself.
Yeah, I did mine. I even have a video.
You
have to learn. He used to always tell me, my husband always used to say, I can't ride 2 bikes.
Wow.
So you have to learn these things.
I'd love it if you'd send me that video, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I want to use it.
He used to say, if I'm going to fix 2 brake pads, why don't I teach you to fix one and we save time?
Makes sense.
Yeah, if I need to oil 2 chains, why can't I teach you to oil the chain? And I can do something and you do something and we save time. And you also learn. So I learned.
So it's not just an adventure for the going to see places.
And
there's also
imagine
hardship that comes with it.
Yes, and I would tell everybody to learn these skills because they're very necessary and very important for you. It
Learning
may
your
feel
bike.
like when you're traveling with a partner, you have an easy way, but that's a human being, anachoka pia. So we've done 500 kilometers together. Why do I think he has more energy than I don't? He's also tired. So you learn to share roles and to help each other.
Kwa hivyo mama umesema ukiamua story ya bike hakuna baby girl treatment.
Son? Yes. Hakuna baby girl treatment.
Hapa ni kungangana. Spana utashika.
Spana utashika.
Pliers.
Kila kitu utafanya.
So what if you go to a country you've mentioned that the warranty covered the service?
It didn't cover, but if you have issues with the bikes that could be taken, that it is something that you are doing with the bike that cost it, then you don't get compensated for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, say, that when it comes to brands like, say, BMW, they use a specific oil filter and a specific type of oil. So would you travel with the oil filters, or now?
Yes, we traveled with a few. You know, with a bike you can't carry so much, but we had at least 2 sets of service for us, so that at least by the time we service in South Africa was easy because they have plenty of BMW dealers.
Yeah.
So we knew there we'll be able to get everything there. The ones we carried is because we were not sure about South America.
Oh,
Just in case we don't find them, or we find them expensive as we did, then we have our own. We don't have to struggle. The cost of BMW bikes and spares in South America is double here. So we were very happy that we carried.
So did you use to exchange currencies?
Yeah, every country you use the currency they use. We put our money in the bank, and so we operated cards. We avoided the ATM until we needed to, just some pocket money in cash that will help you stop and be able to buy a soda, a bottle of water in a kibandaski where you can't run a card. Otherwise, everything else we would pay with a card. But that means that your forex loss is high because it's bank to bank. Yeah.
The rates are high. Oh, wow. Very interesting. Now, last question. For someone who wants to be a biker, especially, let's say, girls, and they want to do something that you're doing, or maybe they're aspiring in the near future, and probably they'll be watching, what's that one thing you'd advise them? Not even one thing, a few things that you'd advise them, if they really they're interested, just as you are.
I would say don't be afraid, and the reason why I'm saying don't be afraid is because there are a lot of stories out there that have made women feel more scared because of how those stories are told. The world is a peaceful place. The world is full of kind people. There is humanity out there. So the fact that anybody who throws you a gender card that you can't do because it's risky for a woman, it's this for a woman, do not listen to that. Take it up if you like it. Learn your skills very well. Learn your skills very well. You don't have to be wealthy with a fat account, because I think the most thing that has made traveling not a thing for many people is the fear of the cost.
Finances.
Yes, you need money, but there are many ways of making the money you have work for you without breaking the bank. And those choices are made by a person. If you choose to stay in a hotel, you will pay more and you will get broke faster. If you choose to camp, you will travel longer and happier. If you choose to make your own food or eat kibadaski, you will go longer with the money you have. If you choose takeaway, Javas and the likes, again, that's how much you'll be depreciating your finances.
Couch surfing.
There are many, many things today that will make your travel much cheaper than it used to be many years ago. So get out there and travel. And ladies, you can do it solo. I know I traveled with a partner, so do not look at Wamuyu and say, until I get my husband, you can do it solo.
Tell them Ichi Boots is doing that.
So many. There's Ichi Boots, there's on her bike. We had, this year we've had how many girls come into the country? About 3 or 4.
On her bike is from which country?
Belgium? No. Australia. Yeah, Australia.
I've never seen an African woman doing it. You're the only one, actually.
But you're looking at one.
Who else is there? Who else is there then? I've said you're the only person.
Yes.
You're the only person I know
that has done it.
That's why I've compared you to Ichi Boots.
I've
not heard of any other.
Yeah. Let's say I started it, but we've had so many African women now step out to do cross-country motorcycle traveling. Malawi, Tanzania, Uganda, and Rwanda and Burundi has been visited by ladies in the last 2 years. I don't know whether it will be comfortable to name them here, but they know themselves. I'll send
It's
you.
fine.
This Manuela.
It could be inspire someone out there.
Yes, Manuela. She's done quite a bit of East Africa. Lucy, Pili Pili Dogo, Bev.
Where do these names come from?
Michelle. Let me give them shout outs. Yeah. We call her Small Chili.
Small Chili.
Yes, they've done all the way to Malawi
and back.
We have had ladies doing the Chalbi.
Or Chalbi Desert.
Let me tell you, going to Malawi is a cup of tea. Chalbi. The desert, yes.
That's a whole thermos.
Yes. So let me say that we are many. There are so many ladies, and your next interview will be another one.
I hope from here.
Yes.
Or Africa in general.
Yes. I've named a few.
Yeah. I hope you being here has inspired them. Maybe some of them are not doing it because they have that fear that you just mentioned, like the gender. They're like, oh, it will be difficult. Maybe now there are those who, they never want to change their own brake pads. But now you've mentioned that you did it. It can inspire and they might feel motivated to do it.
Yes.
Maybe now they were like, fine, I have a husband. I'll push him maybe to now join the biking community. Even if not, it might happen.
Yeah. And at Ink Sisterhood, we also do mechanical trainings for basic mechanics. So unlike me, who had not done those courses when I started, I came to do them through my association, Ink Sisterhood.
That's where you learned how to change the brake pads?
Not for the BMW, but at least I had an idea of what to do.
I feel embarrassed.
Yes, yeah. I had an idea of what to do. You learn how to get your tools. There are tools that come with the bikes. There are tools that you need to add. How do you identify what you need to add? We learn all these things, changing your oil. If you're stuck in the bush, you can save yourself. Those things are taught. We get people to train us for that. So the next team getting out there is well prepared.
Okay, so
way better prepared.
Give me 5 essentials you need when you're traveling out of the country.
You need your toolkit. Never leave your toolkit. Should we say documentation? That's an obvious.
Very obvious. Those without saying. That one should not even count.
Yeah, documentation, that's an obvious. You need your toolkit. You need to know the knowledge of your bike. Understand your bike. Take time to understand the bike you're taking out there. Because the options of, I'm going to my mech, I'll drop the bike, I'll come back later, is gone as soon as you cross the border. It is you and the mech you find to work on your bike, not unless you're walking into a dealership, which anything can happen between the border and the dealership, and you have to sort it out. So you need to really understand your bike. There are tools that come with the bike that will do the basic, but check, for example, what are the most common nut sizes on your bike, and maybe you don't have that size, but they're there. You need it. Add that. Yes. Carry in your toolkit. Add fuse. Add a bulb. Hizo ni vitu zitafanya ulale msituni.
Hivyo tu.
Fuse. Ukichoma fuse ni hivyo. Bulb. Ukichoma bulb ni hivyo na hauna. Those are things you must have. Cables. At least beba an extra cable ya clutch. Kwanza hiyo ndio inapenda kukatika. Na inajuanga tu saa zile hiyo away from everything. 5,000
kilometers from home.
Away from everything.
Time to pull.
That's when it just snaps. So there are those things that they're small items, but finding them might be a problem, and they can actually make you sleep in the bush. Always add them into your kit.
Wow. Nice. Thank you so much for making time to come to my show.
Thank you for having me.
Hizo stories zote umetupatia ni very important, by the way. They're very, very important. I've also learned a few things. Now I'll go learn how to change my own brake pads, service my bike. and all that. It's very important.
That's a deal.
Yeah, that's a deal. Trust me, I'll take a video as well.
Yes.
And I'll send it to you, and I hope there'll be progress.
There'll be.
Sawa, asante sana.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.